couple weeks ago, we went through the Crunchyroll Anime Awards and put together this sheet where I gave my predictions and my hopes for the anime that would win the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. And so to just get right into it, to start right off, Anime of the Year, I both predicted and wanted My Hero Academia to win Anime of the Year 2025. And I'm happy to announce they bought the trophy home. We did it. Coming in hot for their final season, My Hero Academia Season 8, the final season, won Anime of the Year. Again, I don't got too much to say about this one. Even if you're not a My Hero fan, you saw the splash it made. If you're comparing it to the rest of the anime on this roster, Dandadan, Gachikuda, Apothecary Diaries, Takapi, Hikaru, like none of them made a bigger splash than My Hero. Let's keep it a full stack. And so this was respectable. I can get behind that. The next category we did was Film of the Year. Now, I wanted Chainsaw Man to win Film of the Year, but I predicted that Demon Slayer would win Film of the Year. As it turns out, my prediction was right. Demon Slayer won Film of the Year over Chainsaw Man. Now, I'm gonna keep it a full stack. I know a lot of people aren't gonna be happy about this, but if I'm keeping it a full stack, I and this is why I predicted it, I 100% can see why. Demon Slayer set numbers records for anime, both in Japan and overseas. Was Chainsaw Man a slightly better movie? Yeah. I think it adapted a whole arc where the Demon Slayer movie was part one of an arc. And so, the Demon Slayer movie felt more complete. I mean, the Chainsaw Man movie felt more complete, rather. However, and again, normally I don't pick numbers and influence over quality. I feel like you got to balance quality and influence. But the influence that this movie had, the fact that it was outselling Superman globally, you can't overlook that, bro. You can't overlook that. And it's not like it was a bad movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I also really like Demon Slayer. 100 Meters I heard was really good too, but again, I feel like this was a fight between Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer. When you're going into of the year conversations for me, there does have to be an influence dialogue or an influence aspect to the dialogue. And so really the only two movies I saw making a splash like that were these two. And I think Demon Slayer just made the bigger splash. And I don't think the quality difference was big enough between these two series that, you know what I mean, Chainsaw Man outperformed Demon Slayer, at least in the eyes of Crunchyroll, who, can be biased at times. Although I think they had their hands in both Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man. So I can't even give them bias allegations there. I can't do that. The next category was Best Continuing Series. I wanted My Hero to win, and I thought My Hero would win. Turns out I was wrong. They gave it to One Piece. Now, I specifically remember thinking they wouldn't give it to One Piece because that just felt too I don't know. It's like One Piece has solidified itself at this point. It's basically a class act. That would be like giving LeBron MVP last year. He didn't get MVP last year, right? I don't think so. Anywho, I can't be mad because One Piece is still doing its big one. It'll probably be doing its big one for the rest of the decade at minimum. This just makes me wonder, though, are we just going to keep seeing One Piece W's throughout the rest of the decade? Or are we going to switch it up? I was thinking we give it to My Hero, give it a nice goodbye. And you know what? They got Anime of the Year, so I can't be too mad. And I guess if you look at the rest of the competition, I don't think 𝙏𝙠 made big enough of a splash. Kaiju number 8, damn near an industry plant. Solo Leveling, also an industry plant, although it did make a pretty huge splash in season 2. Spy Family, Spy X Family, I love you, but come on, let's be so for real right now. And so I see why they gave it to One Piece. It was a battle of One Piece and My Hero, basically. I personally would have preferred My Hero. I thought they would have given it to My Hero, because Crunchyroll does have a track record of My Hero GLAZE. But 2025, best continuing anime goes to One Piece. Now for the best new anime, I both predicted and wanted 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 to win. And they did. Best new series to 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠. Can't be mad at this. All right, now if we look at the roster, let's keep it a stack right now. 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 has the most potential to still be in conversation in the next 5 years out of all the rest that I see on my screen. Trash ass anime. It's literally a trash ass anime though. Clevitus, I didn't watch it, didn't hear much about it. I knew it was dropping, but I feel like that they just needed to fill in an extra space. Takapi was cool. I have my own critiques for it that I'll probably never get into because it's old now, but I don't think it was the best. Fragrant Flower, it didn't click for me. It just felt like, the same big guy, small girl romance sludge. Hikaru, it was cool. It was cool, but I enjoyed Hikaru. Let me not say that. Let me not say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed Hikaru, but again, if we just look at everything on this list, 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 made the most noise. I think it was the most watched on Crunchyroll at a certain point throughout last year. They had their run. I think they went from summer to the end of the year. Yeah, 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 is doing their big one right now, bringing in the next generation of Bones, along with, I guess, Daemons of the Shadow Realm. And so, yeah, shout out 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠. Now, for the best original anime, I think this is an anime that doesn't come from any source material or something like that. I both voted and predicted Lazarus. Turns out, I was right. Lazarus wasn't perfect. I do think it got overhated though. I think any American anime is going to get overhated because y'all, I don't know, y'all think like, y'all think y'all samurai or some shit. Don't want to see anime coming from nowhere else. 2B Hero X snub. 2B Hero X comes from source material, doesn't it? No. But technically that isn't new. I don't know. Regardless, 2B Hero X might have been snubbed a little bit now that I'm thinking about it, but it wasn't even up for debate. Anywho, yeah, I like Lazarus a lot. I like the imagery. Lazarus was animated by MAPPA. I believe it was produced by Adult Swim. I kind of assumed Crunchyroll would give the Lazarus glaze. Yeah, I think you can see Adult Swim up there. I assumed Crunchyroll would give the Lazarus glaze a little bit. For some reason, I felt like they might be tapped in with, well, no, because I think Lazarus actually was released on HBO Max. But I do think all around between all these right here, I heard Apocalypse Hotel was pretty good. But between all these right here, even if Lazarus got unnecessary hate, I do think it was the best of the ones on this list. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Shout out Lazarus. I hope we get some more anime coming out of the States, collabing with Japanese studios. The promised day will come eventually. But I think Lazarus was a step in the right direction. Hopefully we get more projects like this funded. The next category was best animation. I said I wanted it to go to Takapi's Original Sin. I thought they did some pretty interesting stuff with their animation, but I predicted it would go to Solo Leveling. And once again, here comes the Sung Jin Woo glaze. I'm actually going to mark down which ones I predicted correctly and incorrectly so far. Correct. Incorrect. So far, I am 5 for 6. 5 for 6. I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like if I get enough corrects, someone got to drop some subs. I don't know. Like, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I feel like if I go let's say 19 for 24, I feel like someone got to get subbed up. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and glaze Solo Leveling for too long. Yeah, of all the series on here, I thought Takapi had the best usage of the medium of animation, but we know how the Solo Leveling glaze gets down. It's a beautiful show. I can't even lie. It's really well animated. Abe dropping subs when the check hit. You good, bro? I was playing, but thank you regardless. I'm pretty sure, is Crunchyroll on like the committee for Solo Leveling? Is Crunchyroll the first thing that pops up? Let's see, are they on the committee? Yep. And this is what I was thinking. You got to remember, right? You got to remember while we're watching this. This is the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. So if Crunchyroll is on the committee for any given series, you can expect at least a bit of a boost. Again, I think it's a little crazy. I mean, I'm not mad at it, right? Because there really is only one company heavily investing in anime shit. No, Netflix and Amazon are doing their thing too. But, you know, Crunchyroll is like kind of the only anime exclusive company here in the West. And so if any company was going to put on an Academy Awards-esque show for anime, it was going to be Crunchyroll. But I still can't get mad at this. The animation was good enough that anime of the year. I mean, animation of the year. I can get behind that. All right, the next category was character design. I gave it to Gachi Yakuda. I predicted it would go to Gachi Yakuda. The winner is Gachi Yakuda, coming in with their second victory. Now, again, shout out Gachi Yakuda. I think, honestly, this was a no-brainer. Gachi Yakuda, again, the place where Gachi Yakuda stands out the most to me is visually. Whether that be character design, background design, weapon design. Kei Arana, I believe that's what her name is. She is like a savant, a visual design savant. And whatever graffiti artist that she's collabing with, because I know she works with a graffiti artist actually on her manga. Whatever graffiti artist that is, he doing this thing too. Not much to say. Gachi Yakuda had the most unique and dynamic character designs of all the series here. What else is there to say? You know? Best direction. I wanted it to go to Hikaru, but I predicted it would go to Takapi. It went to Apothecary Diaries. Now look, I like Apothecary Diaries. No hate. I'm not mad at this at all. Apothecary Diaries is good. Nothing about the direction in particular stood out to me. Right? I chose Takapi because they did a lot of really unique things with Hikaru. Or did I say I chose Takapi? I meant to say I chose Hikaru because they did a lot of unique things with Hikaru. I also thought Takapi did a lot of unique things direction-wise. I don't know if Apothecary Diaries did as much abstract. I think that's the word I'm looking for, not unique. I don't know if they went as abstract with the direction. And me personally, I'm biased towards, you know, the abstract sort of direction. And so that's why I was thinking, that's why I wanted it to go to Hikaru, and that's why I thought it would have gone to Takapi. But if we're just talking about, you know, like a well-directed series, Apothecary Diaries is well-directed. It's good, and it has no need for that sort of abstractness, right? It's just a good show. I'll say it's probably the best story on this panel right here. Probably the best written story. But direction, that was interesting for me. For background design, I wanted it to go to Kowloon Generic Romance. That was kind of like my sleeper hit. I didn't think they were going to win, though. I predicted it would go to 𝙏𝙏. This was kind of me giving 𝙏𝙏 some free points. Excuse me. Turns out, 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 coming through with another victory. Now, I remember specifically thinking that 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 had the best background design of all these shows. But I remember thinking, no way, because I already predicted correctly that 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 would win new anime and character design. So I was like, no way they glazed 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 three-peat glaze. They glazed 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 three-peat glaze, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I would have given it to Kowloon personally, just because, I like seeing sort of lesser known shit get the W sometimes. But I'm not mad at 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 taking this W. And so far, 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠 is kind of going crazy. They're stacking up the most W's of any show in this awards, up for awards. And I'm not mad at it because visually they really are one of those ones. It's very unique. It's a beautiful show. For best romance, I wanted My Dress Up Darling. I predicted 𝙏𝙏. Again, I was thinking they'd throw 𝙏𝙏 a bone. Turns out it went to the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Now, I watched the first episode of this, didn't give a fuck about it. I watched it and I was like, this offers me nothing new that I haven't seen in a romance anime already, which is fine. Not everything needs to be new. It just didn't appeal to me necessarily. If I had to give it some points, I would say that little short 3'2" chick is probably the every now and then, every couple of years. It happens less frequently now than it used to like a decade ago. But every couple seasons, an anime girl from a romance anime will become like the glazed anime girl of the season, of the year, whatever. A couple of years ago, it was Mari and Kitagawa from Dress Up Darling. She's probably the most recent I could think of. And then, you can trace it back however far you want. This young lady right here is probably the closest that I've seen to that effect since My Dress Up Darling. I've seen Waguri, I guess her name is. I've seen memes of her and little jokes and little glaze. I don't think romance anime is as big as it used to be. But yeah, the fact that in the current landscape, she managed to gain enough clout to kind of fill that role. I guess I could see this being romance anime of the year. It also is, compared to 𝙏𝙏, a strictly romance anime. Where, 𝙏𝙏 is more battle shonen romance, half and half. And so I could see why they'd want to give it to a more, strictly by the books romance anime. Although I heard Blue Box was good too. So maybe it should have gone to Blue Box. I don't know. Regardless, I just got 3 wrong in a row. It's already looking pretty dark for me. But for best comedy anime, I had no prediction. I wanted it to go to 𝙏𝙏. I don't watch enough comedy anime or find enough comedy anime to be funny to really put up a prediction. Turns out it went to 𝙏𝙏. Okay, so I was right. All right, there they go. They threw 𝙏𝙏 their bone. Yeah, 𝙏𝙏 had its funny moments. That's all I can really say. I wouldn't say it's a comedy-focused anime. And perhaps maybe it should have gone to something that's more comedy-focused, like I know Witch Watch is a bit more gaggy. I think City, I know that's like somewhat related to Nichijou or whatever you say it. But love to see 𝙏𝙏 getting a W. 𝙏𝙏 is one of the few anime that do get a genuine chuckle out of me every now and then. And so fuck it. I'll take it. Best action is the next category. I wanted it to go to Solo Leveling because as much as I am critical of the series, I can recognize where it does its thing is in action. I also predicted it would go to Solo Leveling, and it went to Solo Leveling. I don't think anyone's surprised here. A lot of series had great action. Solo Leveling, let's keep it a sack right now, kind of blows most of these series out of the water in terms of pure action. the plot that stitches the action together, we can open a dialogue on that. That's not the best. But just pure, unadulterated fisticuffs. Solo Leveling has just the most consistency. I mean, damn near every episode we had some crazy fisticuffs. So I'll give Solo Leveling its credit where it's due. I don't want to sit here and hate for too long. Congrats to Solo Leveling. This is their second win. Their second win on this list. For Isekai, best Isekai. Personally, I wanted it to go to campfire cooking. I know a lot of you niggas don't even know what campfire cooking is. That's all right. It's more of a personal thing for me. But I knew or predicted that it would go to ReZero. It went to ReZero, season 3. Damn, ReZero's moving pretty consistently now, huh? We got season 3 and season 4 back to back. Yeah, of all the shows on this list, in this roster, ReZero made the biggest splash. You know, it's kind of, I mean, it's in the big 3 of Isekai that I see. ReZero is one of 3 Isekai that I see consistently breaking out of the regular Isekai audience. Those 3 being ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, and I guess Konosuba. I think that's the third one I'm thinking about. I've never been a big Konosuba guy, I'm not gonna lie. If they would have given this shit to Konosuba, I would have been mad. But yeah, ReZero season 3 was great. I loved it. Enjoying season 4. Finding no belly button frames in the poster. Are there? We just can't see them. They're definitely in there. But yeah, ReZero had to take this. And oh yeah, Slime. I would low-key put Slime. I forgot Slime was an Isekai. I would put Slime over Konosuba in terms of breaking into sort of, you know, the more action-oriented, broader anime audience. But yeah, ReZero season 3. Congratulations. And another prediction on my end. All right, drama. I both wanted and predicted that Apothecary Diaries would win. And they took it home. I heard Orb was good. Hikaru was good. I heard Blue Box was good. I heard the Takapi, you know, it wasn't, I watched it all. It wasn't my thing. I enjoyed it. I just thought it was, again, not going to sit here and hate on the Takapi. Honestly, this is probably the most competitive, like, box we've seen yet. All of these shows were good in their own right. I don't know about Anne Shirley, but almost all of these shows were good in their own right. Apothecary Diaries just took it. I can't be mad at that. I heard Orb is one of them ones. You know what I mean? I know it's very ambitious, you know, one of those sort of seinen. I could see Orb being one of those recommended next to like a Vinland Saga and a Monster in like 10 years. You know what I mean? A season 2 shouldn't beat Orb. I can kind of see that. I am personally usually more fond of having new shows take it over established shows. Because it's like, what, are we going to let Apothecary Diaries win season 3 too? Who knows? Maybe they didn't win it last year. Maybe they got beat out last year and this was them getting their time in the spotlight. Regardless, I can't be mad at the W. For best slice of life, I wanted My Dress Up Darling, but I predicted it would go to Blue Box. I didn't really know much about Blue Box, but for some reason I just felt like it would go to Blue Box. It went to Spy X Family. I mean, I can't really be mad at it. You know, Spy X Family kind of fell off for me a little bit. Went to see the movie with my girlfriend. It was cool. But I'm not really sitting here rubbing my feet together for a new season of Spy X Family. Not much more to say here. You know, I'd love to see My Dress Up Darling take some more trophies home, but hey, shout out Spy X Family, man. You know, can't be mad at it. For the best main character, I wanted it to go to Big Deck. I predicted it would go to Big Deck. The winner is my second green hair goat. I love Mao Mao more than the next guy. I won't say I love Mao Mao as much as the next guy. I love Mao Mao more than the next guy. And so I can't really be mad at this. But, you know, I just wanted to send Deck home with another ring. And, you know, Mao Mao, she has about a decade worth of anime to go. I just don't think she should have won this over Big Deck. You know, I think this victory could have helped with a lot of the Deck slander. But you know what? I guess it's time to pass the torch on to the new generation. And at least it didn't go to Jim Woo. If it went to Jim Woo, we might have had to invade Crunchyroll's headquarters. I don't know. That would have been on the table. But yeah, sorry to Big Deck. Mao Mao taking it home. For best supporting character, I both predicted and wanted Lord Bach to win. The winner was Lord Bach. I can't be mad at this. And maybe, you know, maybe Mao Mao was given the victory retroactively because they didn't want to super glaze the dynamic duo. I guess Bach did stand out a tad more than Deck this season. Just because his scenes went ultra viral and stuff, and you know what I mean? He had the Vincent Chanzard scenes, and I mean, like, if we're just talking about broader consumption, I think Bach made a bigger splash than Deck. And so I can't be mad at this. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny how much Bach gets glazed over Deck just across the board, bro. You either have people that hate Bakugo with their whole soul, despise him for some middle school bullying, and then it's just like everyone else just loves his ass. Just, I mean, you see the glaze. And so I can't be mad at this. I can't be mad at this. I see it. I just wish it would have went to Deck as well. That's all I can say. For the must protect character, I didn't predict anything. I've always thought that's a stupid ass fucking award. Yeah, bro. The top most must protect character. What does that even mean, bro? What does that mean? Anywho, I didn't predict anything. It went to Anya. Makes sense. Cute child. Yeah. Such a Reddit category. That is a very 2017 anime coded. We must protect with 2 C's. I'm not gonna lie. They gotta, like, if we gotta keep up. We gotta keep up with the modern anime dialogue landscape. We don't really talk about must protect anymore. This category should be swapped out for most aura. And then whatever the buzzword is in another 5 years, do that. And then whatever the buzzword is in another 5 years, do that, and so on and so forth. Most glazed, that would be fun. Even though I don't know how people would feel about getting their character selected for most glazed. Most aura would be snubbed by Jim Woo. Oh, for sure. For sure. Best anime song. I went with Jane. I don't know what Jane was, but I both predicted and voted for Jane. I think that was one of the Chainsaw Man songs. It went to Iris Out. I let you niggas convince me that it wasn't going to be Iris Out. I remember saying it was going to be Iris Out. I let y'all change my vote. I shouldn't have done that. I knew it was going to be one of the Chainsaw Man songs. It went to Jane Doe. Can't be mad either way. Continuing on the topic of music, we're going to best score. I both predicted and voted for Chainsaw Man. It went to Infinity Castle. That's GLAZE. That's GLAZE. Infinity Castle didn't drop. That was super off key. I'm sorry. I've been talking a lot. My throat's kind of fucked up. That was better. That was better. Yeah, this is GLAZE. This is Turbo GLAZE. This is Turbo GLAZE, but I can't be mad at it. Give me 𝙏𝙠 before Demon Slayer was score. I mean, Demon Slayer's score wasn't bad. It just didn't really stick out to me enough for me to go like, oh, that score was crazy. Whereas like, Chainsaw Man, that OST was going viral. But I guess they wanted to lob it to Demon Slayer. Continuing with the music theme, best OP. I said it should have gone to 𝙏𝙠. I both voted and predicted 𝙏𝙠. It went to 𝙏𝙠. Good shit. Now y'all know me, I'm a big fan of the 𝙏𝙖 𝙏𝙠 OP2. Excuse me. I'm a big fan of 𝙏𝙖 𝙏𝙠 OP2, but for some reason they put OP1 up there instead. Not mad at it. But yeah, 𝙏𝙠 smoked all of these. 𝙏𝙠 smoked all of these. Not much of a competition there. Honestly. For the best ED, however, I went both voting for and predicting. I went My Hero Academia. I was right. What was the My Hero? It was fuck. Now I gotta play it. I can't play it. It'll get copyrighted. I just remember I loved the visuals for the ED too. First of all, it was beautiful. But yeah, I don't watch enough EDs to really care or vote in any particular direction. My Hero was kind of all I knew as far as this topic was concerned. For me, I know if I'm willing to sit through an ED, it has to be fire. And so My Hero, another victory in the mix. Congrats for them. Another correct prediction for me. For voice actor. Wait. Yeah. For voice actor Japanese dub, I put MHA. I'm assuming they only have one My Hero voice actor up in the runnings. Ooh. Mao took it again. I think over Deku, right? Daiki Yamashita. I think that's Deku, ain't it? They gave it to Mao. I can kind of see it. Deck wasn't on the list. I see. I can kind of see it going to Mao just because Apothecary Diaries is such a wordy show. Apothecary Diaries is such a wordy show that involves so much yap back and forth. She low-key was putting in the most work. She's also Shala's VA. That's some range right there. Shala and Mao, that's some fucking range. I can't be mad at this, honestly. But now for the last category, English voice actor, it has to go to Deku. Let's keep it a stack. I both voted and predicted it would go to Deku. I said this when we did the votes. Look, very few voices, anime voices in the past decade, I would say are iconic. As in, your average anime fan can hear the voice and go, oh, that's 100% this character. The same way you can with Goku, Naruto, Luffy, whatever. It's iconic for better or worse. It might be partially iconic because of the memes. Because of the Kachan, like, it is kind of it's a very unique take on the character. I think very few dub voices are iconic in the past decade. And I think one of the only ones that are iconic is Deku's voice. I both voted for and predicted it would go to Deku. A good send-off for the show. A good way to end the awards. It went to Lucian Dodge for Aqsa. I can't be mad at that. I'm not gonna lie. I can't be mad at that. Even if the Deku voice was iconic, Aqsa did have... Wait, did I see Aqsa in dub? Yeah, Aqsa did have a pretty fire voice. Did have pretty fire voice work. And again, if we're looking at just range, you know what I mean? The happy scenes, the sad scenes, the smoke demon sort of scenes. Like, he had it all in that movie. And so is this glazed slightly? Slightly. I would have wanted my boy Justin Briner to get his flowers for that deck voice, that iconic deck voice. But I'm not mad at this take. Altogether, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 predictions out of, what was it, like 25? About 50%. Yeah. With all that said, that was the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. My Hero brought home a cool 1, 2, 3 victories. Not mad at that. Gotcha Yakuta brought home a surprising 3 victories. Solo Leveling popped 2 victories. Oh yeah, it was good. It was good. I wasn't immensely disappointed in how that turned out.